And and so the twist there is China is there on the moon, on the far side of the moon. We don't know what they're doing because we don't have infrastructure up there to even see what's going on. But we do know they're mining helium-3. And
We
so,
legitimately don't know what China is doing on the other side of the moon.
no, we don't. Because the other side of the moon, most people may not know this, but you only see one side of the moon in the way that it rotates and orbits around the Earth. It's a very interesting phenomenon in orbital mechanics, but and so unless we have a constellation of satellites flying around the moon that can see and understand what's going on, we're blind, and that's one reason they're over there. But let me give you a commercial.
Getting upset, Steve.
Yeah,
I'm getting real upset.
So this goes back to a strategy and why I'm in the space business, because space is the place where if America does not change our strategy and how we're investing in space, we will become victims to others that use space as a way of dominating the energy market, but also the information market. So here's an example. About a month ago, Microsoft announced their quantum computing capability, which is just next level and awesome. But they need to cool it down to 80 millikelvin, which basically is almost down to the point where the molecules don't even move. Okay. There's really no way to cool it efficiently down to that level. Hydrogen would only get you down to maybe 1 Kelvin. You need to go, much lower than that. Helium-3 can do it like that. So let's take a scenario where China now has enough helium-3 as they're mining it on the moon and bringing it back to Earth to be able to power the entire world for thousands of years. And they are the ones that can actually operationalize quantum, because they can cool it down to the temperature it needs to actually operate. Now, quantum sensing, quantum communication, when you start looking at and quantum computing, when you start combining those three quantum capabilities, sensing, computing, communication, and you can affordably cool it down to the levels where it can be operationalized. Now you've broken every code that ever was. I don't care how good your encryption is. They see every secret, every code, everything, from Bitcoin to, things like, the techniques of blockchain. Forget it. It's all going to change. And so there's an example of why not being in space with logistics and infrastructure to be able to move, to see, and to operate can make you vulnerable.
How long has China been on the far side of the moon?
Well, it's been quite a while. You can look back. It's been at least 2 years. The problem here is in my view, it is that we do not have a sense of how dramatically things will change with these technologies that are in space. We build better satellites than anybody on the planet. Okay. We build better fighters, tanks, ships, submarines. We build really cool stuff, better than anybody else in the world in many cases. There are exceptions, of course. But what beats good technology is a superior strategy. So China may not, they may be a fast follower where they look a lot like our F-22 in their fighters. They look a lot like Elon Musk's, rocket ships. They may be a fast follower, but they aren't interested in making better technology. They are building a strategy of logistics and infrastructure in space that will change the game for the energy and information market on Earth. And we are on a strategy that builds better satellites to do the same things we've done before. And there are efforts to do these other things, but it's not fueled by the kind of money to operationalize it and really compete. This is why, strategy eats technology for lunch.
Man, this is really alarming. I mean, who knows what they're doing over there?
Well, we know
legitimately have.
we know they're mining. Okay, we
How do
know
we
they're
know
bringing back because we can see what they're bringing back, and this is all open source. We can, in open source, you can see some of the things that China's doing, and so we have evidence of some of the things they're doing, but we don't know the extent, and that's part of the problem. And this goes back to why truth and information is the most important element. Because, it's back to Sun Tzu and the art of war. Know thy enemy, know thyself. And if you are deceived in your own arrogance and your own dominance of the past, that what you did in the past is sufficient to win in the future, eventually you're going to be a dead man. And if you do not know your enemy well enough, not just on the technical side, but the cultural side, we as an American society tend to just believe our own press and think that our way of thinking is dominant. And it has worked. But if we don't understand China's cultural mindset, we could end up being a victim to it.
I can't get my mind off of China being on the other side of the moon for years, and we have not sent anything up there. I mean, how does that just slide past a president's desk? Hey, we got China over here, our biggest adversary, biggest potential adversary. We might want to take a look at this.
Well, this president, President Trump, understands this.
He does.
He does.
Well, that's good.
And in fact, he understood it in his first term. And this is why he was willing to put up with the ridicule, sarcasm, and humiliation that came with saying, we are going to create a space force. That space force, when we look back 300 years from now, the legislation that President Trump championed to get a space force written into law will be the wedge in history that protects America.